Belief bricks. The bricklayer. Here is a short story about a bricklayer who discovers that the wall imprisoning him is made from thoughts he has believed, and that forgiveness is the gentle solution that dissolves the mortar holding them together. Marco was the finest bricklayer in the valley. He could build a straight wall without measuring twice. He knew exactly how much sand, water, and cement to mix, and his hands moved with the confidence of someone who had repeated the same craft for many years. One morning, Marco received an unusual commission. A wealthy landowner asked him to build a wall around a quiet garden. "What kind of bricks would you like?" Marco asked. The landowner pointed toward a large pile beside the road. Marco examined them. Each brick had a word carved into it. Rejected, unworthy, failure, abandoned, guilty. Not enough. "These are strange building materials," Marco said. "They are very old," the landowner replied. "People have been carrying them for generations." Marco lifted the first brick. It was heavier than it looked. He placed it on the foundation and spread mortar beneath it. Then he added another brick and another. As the wall grew, Marco noticed something peculiar. Every brick reminded him of a thought he had carried about himself. When he placed rejected, he remembered a childhood friend who had stopped speaking to him. When he placed failure, he remembered a business that had closed. When he placed guilty, he remembered words he wished he had never spoken. Marco believed he was simply building a wall, but he was also rebuilding his past. Day after day, he added more bricks. He found new ones labeled, "They do not respect me. I must protect myself. I know what they are thinking. The future will be like the past." Each time Marco believed one of these thoughts, he mixed more mortar. The wall became higher. The garden disappeared from view. One afternoon, a garbage collector named Sophia arrived with an empty wagon. "I have come for what no longer serves," she said. Marco laughed. "There is no garbage here. These are carefully selected building materials." Sophia examined the wall. "They look like thoughts." "They are facts," Marco replied. "How do you know?" Marco pointed toward the bricks. "They are written right there." Sophia smiled. "Writing a thought on a brick does not make it true." Marco became irritated. "This wall is solid. I built it myself." "Yes," Sophia said. "That is why you can stop building it." Marco looked at the towering structure. For the first time, he noticed that he was standing on the outside of the garden. The wall he believed would protect him had blocked his own entrance. "I could knock it down," he said. "You could," Sophia replied. "But attacking the wall might convince you it has real power." "Then what should I do? Look at what holds the bricks together." Marco scraped the edge of the mortar with his tool. The mixture was unusually dark. "What is this made of?" Sophia asked. Marco thought carefully. "Judgment, blame, repetition, my certainty that the past explains everything." "And what might dissolve it?" Marco shrugged. "Water? Forgiveness." Marco frowned. "How can forgiveness dissolve cement?" "This is not ordinary cement," Sophia said. "It is belief hardened by constant investment. Forgiveness does not attack the bricks. It withdraws the meaning you gave them." She handed Marco a small bucket filled with clear water. Across the side was written, "I am willing to see this differently." Marco poured a little over the brick marked rejected. Nothing happened. "It does not work," he said. "Forgiveness is not a performance," Sophia replied. "You must be willing to stop proving the thought." Marco placed his hand on the brick. He remembered the friend who had walked away. For years, Marco had used that memory to prove he was unwanted. He had repeated the story so often that it became part of his identity. He whispered, "I do not know what that moment truly meant. I released the meaning I gave it." The mortar softened. Marco stepped back in surprise. He poured the solution over failure. "I built my identity from one ending," he said, "but an ending cannot define what I am." The mortar dissolved further. He moved to guilty. This brick frightened him most. "Forgiveness does not mean pretending you caused no harm," Sophia said. "It means accepting correction without turning the mistake into your identity." Marco closed his eyes. "I can take responsibility for what I did without believing guilt is what I am." The brick loosened. One by one, Marco worked along the wall. He did not deny his memories. He did not excuse harmful choices. He simply stopped using the past as proof of a permanent self. As the mortar dissolved, the bricks began falling gently into the grass. Behind each brick was nothing. No monster, no punishment, no hidden prison. Only open space. When the final row came down, Marco saw the garden again. It had been there the entire time. Flowers moved in the breeze. Birds rested in the trees. Sunlight spread across a path leading home. Sophia began loading the fallen bricks into her wagon. "Where will you take them?" Marco asked. "Nowhere special," she said. "Without belief, they are just empty shapes." Marco picked up the brick marked "not enough." It felt lighter now. He smiled and placed it in the wagon. "I thought these thoughts knew my destination. They only knew how to repeat the past," Sophia said. Marco walked into the garden, where he understood that thoughts were harmless until he believed them, defended them, and built with them. Forgiveness had not destroyed anything real. It had dissolved the mortar of judgment and revealed that the wall had never contained the truth. Marco looked back at the open path. "If it isn't love," he said, "it isn't." Sophia tipped her hat and rolled the wagon away. Marco never stopped being a bricklayer. But from that day forward, before placing any brick, he asked, "Am I building with love, or constructing another wall from a thought I no longer need to believe?" May we sing, rest, and dance our way home together.